With virtually hundreds of nutrition bars to choose from, what's a consumer to do? Well, fear not. Mark Mincolla is here with his top 3 to turn to when you need a quick and healthy fix. Hi, Mark.
Good morning.
So, in general, you found that these bars aren't great.
Not the greatest. A Consumer Lab Report study says that 18 of 31 didn't even contain what their labels claimed.
How can they do that?
Well, they're being looked into, I can tell you that.
And then you looked at some yourself?
I looked at hundreds of them, and I found that most of them are really not very nutritious.
And what are you looking at specifically?
Unfortunately, Leslie, there's a lot of saturated fat, a lot of sugar, a lot of calories in these bars.
And calories, that's not good.
Not good. Calories translates to fat.
All right, and these are not supposed to be snacks, right? They're supposed to be meal replacement bars. Is that what they're marketed as?
Well, there's 3 categories. You've got the high protein, you've got the high carb for endurance athletes, and you've also got the meal replacement bars that have all your vitamins, minerals, and enzymes. So there's really 3 different categories.
All right, so you came up with some of the best, 3 of the best.
After really,
if you have to pick, right?
I'll tell you what, after really scrubbing it down and really filtering these down, I found 3 that I thought were really, really good. The Pure Protein Bar, 20 grams of protein, 17 carb, better than a 1-to-1 ratio. Saturated fat, only 3, which is a really good number. And, you know, the idea that we don't overdo these 2 to 3 times a week, you're not going to have any problems with most of these. The Detour Oatmeal, 30 grams of protein, 63 carbs, again, for endurance athletes, for folks that are looking to do long-distance running, etc. 3 saturated fat grams, 12 grams of sugar. Spiritine Bar, 10 grams of protein, 18 carb, 1 saturated fat, 12 sugar. And, again, 50% of the daily value, meaning there's a lot of vitamins, minerals, etc.
The sugar, it's a high sugar in many of them.
Well, the Pure Protein Bar, the very first one, is low sugar. Again, for folks who are interested in kind of keeping trim or body sculpting, bodybuilding, you want to get the proteins up, you want to get the carbs and the sugars down, and that's really what that
Okay, so high protein is good.
Correct. But for endurance athletes, I wouldn't worry too much about that.
What else do you need to look at on the label when you're looking for sugar, or hidden sugar, or sugar alcohol? What is that?
It's a little tricky because you've got the net carbs is a big thing they're listing nowadays. It may say 2 grams of net carbs, but may have actually more sugar, more carbs in there from alcohol. Now, the alcohols that are in there, not to worry too much about them, they're actually vapors. So the minute you consume these, they're basically breaking down the second they hit your palate. So they're not going to really have any kind of liability in terms of, you know, the caloric content, et cetera, in the final analysis. So not to worry too much about those, but it is a little tricky. In some cases, there's more sugar and more carb than you're posting, but not to worry about those.
All right, so you picked your top 3, but in general, do you recommend that people eat these things at all?
You know, there's nothing like whole foods. There's nothing like snacking on fruits, almonds, sunflower seeds, things like that if you really want to be healthy. But I think 2 to 3 times a week, certainly you're not going to have any problem with these bars. But again, by and large, most of these nutrition bars are not that nutritious.
All right, but you don't want to have lunch and then have your nutrition bar as your snack.
Yeah, or get in the habit of eating a supplement bar that's a meal replacement bar every day for lunch.
All right. So much to look at, so much to figure out. What's ahead for next week, Mark? What's coming up?
Well, we have some really interesting tips, actually, from Dr. Steven Sinatra's book, 3 really important supplements to keep your heart protected.
All right, looking forward to that. And you can always get more information at Mark's website, maxhealing.com. Mark Mincolla, thank you.
Thank you.